for not just bringing home the state title, but for demonstrating to all the future Spartans and to being a beacon of what a true champion is. The effort that you guys have put in, both in the classroom, in the community, and on the court, is the perfect demonstration of what a true champion is. You guys were easy to root for. You guys are easy to root for because of who you are as human beings and as young men, as much as you are basketball players, athletes, and students. That is demonstrated by the number of communities surrounding us that typically compete against us who are rooting for the Spartans this weekend. You guys stand as just the ultimate example of what every coach, every administrator, and every teacher, and every parent wants young men to be represented like. So thank you, gentlemen. And now the man that is the heartbeat not only of the basketball team, but the school, state championship coach, Brian Brooks.
Speaking in front of people is usually not an issue, but this may be a little bit more difficult than I thought. You know, on the way over, I typically prepare anytime I've got to speak, and about halfway here, I just decided that we've done so much preparing the last 3 weeks that I was done preparing, so I can do this. You know, Mr. Page really said it very, very well about our young men. There's not a group of men, young men, that deserve this more than they do. They do it right. They're all kids of high character. They're great teammates, and you can't. You know, they have great leadership. You know, one of the media guys this weekend asked me, you know, what do we do to teach leadership? And as I told them, you know, we try to promote it, but you can't teach that. That comes from their parents. That comes from home. You know, and we're just privileged to, you know, be a part of that. And we've got some unbelievable senior leaders at really all three levels of our group. But it all comes back to seniors, and their leadership was unbelievable. Not just in basketball, and not just in athletics, but in the classroom. They're outstanding leaders in the classroom. They're great leaders in our community, and they so much deserve this. They so much deserve this. You know, I thought about this a lot since last night. And 13 years ago when I got here, I met with our first group, and when I was first hired as the basketball coach, and you know, we talked about expectations, and you know, it's to talk about the difficulty in the postseason, and you know, Coach Wolken had done a great job with the basketball program for a long time. I think he'd be the first to tell you it's extremely difficult to win in the postseason. And we had 8 regionals in our program at that time, and 8 regional titles, and which is not bad. There's many schools that don't have a regional title in over 20, 30 years. And but we told our guys that the goal was we wanted to win a state title, and if they wanted to play basketball here, that was going to be the expectation, and that as far as the work that we were going to ask them to do, and not just in the basketball gym, but also in the classroom. And we knew how difficult that was. We knew that it would not only take talent, it would not only take hard work, but it would take some luck. And you know, I'm not just proud of these 14 young men, but I'm proud of all of our guys over the last 13 years that have committed to our program. And you know, it started with the senior class, and you know, 3 guys: Adam Freeze, and Sonny Benzo, and Matt Dalton. And they had the same dream these guys had. We just weren't ready yet. And to see it fulfilled, not only with the state title, but over those 13 years for those guys to accomplish what they've accomplished with 8 regional championships, 3 sectional championships, and 2 super sectional championships, a 4th place trophy, and now the big one. It's just, it's almost surreal. And They all played a part in this. Every one of our players in the last 13 years have played a part in last night's victory. I could not be more proud of them as well. So it's been special. It's you know, you have seasons where you have really good seasons, and they're not always as much fun. And as far as, you know, from the outside it looks great because your record's great, but on the inside there may be some things going on that maybe aren't as good as it seems from the outside. And this year's group, it was just the opposite. We started slow, but we loved what we had. We loved our guys. And you know, I don't know how many times I've been asked this weekend, how did you guys lose 9 games? And I mean, that's continued to come up. But I think it's a big, you know, I think it's a great, they're a great example of a couple things as far as the culture of this school district and the expectation level. You know, you know, our guys came in, as I told a lot of the media, you know, our guys came in late because we're used to that. They had a great football season. And I think some of the motivation for them to do what they did last night was because of the disappointment they had, you know, in their last football game. And they had given everything they had, and it just didn't work out. And they were good enough to you know, to win it all, and definitely to move on past one more. But it didn't happen. And you know, we started late. We had some losses, we had some injuries, and people were questioning things, and we just kept telling our guys, just stick together. You'll be okay. We'll be all right. Just stay together, and we'll keep getting better. But you got to stick with it. And it would have been so easy, so easy for these guys to just say, this isn't our year. And you know, we were 7-5. We had a couple people say, yeah. I mean, I told them the story. We were at Leader Classic, and there was a guy in the community who was just a basketball fan, was at Leader Classic, and was talking to us about the team, and you know, kind of asked, you know, what we were struggling with. And we talked about that. He wasn't being mean at all. He was just inquiring. He likes basketball, and we talked about it. He said, yeah, the vibe in town is there's not much talent, and you know, so I put that in our back pocket. And you know, at one point, I think in January, I mentioned that to him, and you know, I said, a lot of people don't think they have any talent. And as I reminded him last Tuesday night after they advanced to the Final Four, that I think they've proved that guy wrong at least, and anybody else has said that. So, and that comes from a lot. That just comes from a commitment and hard work. And you know, is it more difficult when you start late? You know, we're going to start late. You know, as we talked about, you know, their spring sports, they're starting late. You know, they started late in the winter sport. Is it more difficult at the beginning of the season? Yes. But I think these guys have proven that it can be done. You know, I told them last night, I've gone to state tournaments for decades, and I've followed postseason runs for decades. These guys put on one of the most impressive postseason runs that I can remember. They not only beat some of the top teams in the state. I mean, Breeze Central was preseason number 1 in the state. The end of the season, I think, number 3. Taylor Rockridge ended the season number 4. You know, we started our postseason play at a regional. Bloomington Central Catholic, who was as talented as any team we played all year, was definitely a top 5 team as well. You know, that game in the regional was the only game they didn't win by double digits, which is I mean, it's unbelievable. But they always had the look. You know, as a coach, sometimes you get a feel when things aren't going well. But every time we came to a huddle, we talked about just, you know, we've been here before. They had that look like we're good. You know, at halftime last night, even Friday night, you know, we were down 6. We talked about it, and we said we felt like we were in a good spot. You know, we had made some mistakes, some mental mistakes on both ends of the floor. Breeze Central capitalized. We talked about some of those things. We made a few adjustments, and we looked at it. We said, we think we're okay. They had to look like, yeah, we're okay. You know, coach, we're going to win this thing. And every time you looked at, you know, every time I looked at you know, Ty Brown or Jake Ness, they just looked me in the eye like, we got this. We're not losing tonight. So it's just a special group. It really is. You know, we talked to the staff after the game. Our staff asked me, how'd you feel at halftime last night? You know, of course, we didn't say it during there, but we all felt really good. We just trust this group. Just get it. And you know, somebody asked me, how do you describe this group? And in one word, they're just winners in life. And they're all going to be winners in life when they leave here. And they were going to be winners. They were champions in my book, whether they won last night or not. And they were champions in my book, whether they ever got the regional. These kids are going to win in life. And that's the most important thing. I mean, to be really honest, you know, we walked into Thursday with our shoot around, and there's the four teams. And if you'd have asked just by look and appearance who doesn't belong, it was probably us. You know, I mean, Chicago Hills walked in with 6'11", 6'8", and I mean, we got 6'2" and under at best, probably with shoes on. But they've got so much heart. They've got so much heart, and you know, every time they're told they can't do something, you know, we talked about a lot in the middle of the year. You know, they were told a lot they couldn't do something. As I told them, I said, you know, we try to teach them a lot of life lessons within our program. And I said, don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something, no matter what it is in life. And you know, after Brandon's just absolutely unbelievable performance on Friday night, breaking state records, and just put on a show. And we knew that Taylor Roberts was not going to let that happen in the championship game. You can't play a championship game and let a guy score 44 points. Our guys weren't worried about that. Our other guys have stepped up many times throughout the year. And I don't know whether they scouted Garrett Grimsley or not, but we knew Garrett Grimsley could make shots. So you know, these guys have never worried us. You know, I mean, we heard again all Friday night, Saturday morning. There's no way you guys can win unless Trimble scores 30 or 40. And then, you know, we knew one. You know, everybody was amazed by it, and we were kind of numb to it because Brandon just seems to do that every so often. So we just kind of, it wasn't a huge deal to us, something which sounds odd. I mean, I never thought I'd ever say that when a kid scores 44, but it just seems like, I mean, he's really good at it. No, but we weren't worried about our other guys on Saturday night. We knew he wasn't going to be able to do that. Not that he couldn't do that again, but they weren't going to let him do that. They were going to shadow these two guys to him. And so we knew other guys could step up, and they did. And every one of them stepped up. You know, we talked at half. It was a great spot. We'd already had 5 guys that had scored, and you know, it was spread out, and we hit big shots. And in the second half, we had some other guys hit some big shots, and you know, it's like I said, it just can't happen to a better group of young men. And I'll tell one short story, and I know one of these players is probably not going to be happy with me sharing this, but I shared it with our guys on Thursday night because I think it's a neat story. And it says a ton about our seniors, a ton. My son, Jordan, was 11 years old in 6th grade, and we're coming back from a practice. It's a practice or game, a 6th grade game or practice. And off topic, he just you know, 11 years old, he just starts talking about high school. And said, I got a goal, Dad, in high school. I said, what's that? He said, I want to make a varsity team as a sophomore. I said, okay. And we talked about how difficult that can be at times, and with only 15 spots, et cetera. He said, I know, because I've seen a lot of teams. And he said, I understand that. Well, then he just keeps going. And I finally just said, well, where is this coming from? It was completely off topic. And he said, that 8th grade group, when they're seniors, I think they have a shot to get to Peoria, and I want to be a part of that. And you know, I think that's pretty exciting. That group is just, you know, it's you don't find many kids like that group. You just don't. You know, and I'll go back to the examples of completely different games on Friday and Saturday. You know, there was a time where our assistants are asking me during the Friday night's game, you know, what do you want next? What do you want next? And as Brandon just kept scoring, I'm like, we're just going to keep going back to that until they decide they're going to stop that. And our seniors kept coming to the sideline saying, quit or don't leave that. Keep going back to that. Keep going back to that. All they cared about was winning. You know, and then last night when Jake was on a run, I heard Brandon telling you're proving them all wrong. You know, something along those lines. We're coming to a timeout. He's supporting them, saying just keep proving them wrong. You know, you guys can do this too, and that's special. That's hard to get to. You know, when from both sides, and you know, Brandon's a special talent. He's the best scoring basketball player I've had the privilege to be around, and it's not easy sometimes for the other guys to find a way to fit in and be successful. And it's not always easy because he is so talented to figure out what his role is when he's not scoring. And that's hard. And to gel that together, for these guys to gel that together, we became awfully difficult to play against because of that. And it's just special. It's really special to be a part of. I can't thank them enough for the memories that they've created for me, for our coaching staff, for our community. They're just special. As I told one of the guys yesterday morning on the radio or the news, and it's somewhat bittersweet because I hate the fact that those 7 seniors, I won't get the opportunity to coach them again. And they're just special young men. And another side part of this, and I don't want to talk too long, but I've got 3 assistant coaches that were former players of mine, and as I told them last night, it's so special for me to see them with us on the bench as former players and getting to not only be a part of this, but I'm telling you, they were outstanding throughout the whole year. They understand what we need. As I told Coach Olson when we finally begged him to get him to come on board, that it was going to be the best match we've had in 13 years, in my opinion, and because they understand what we need and what it takes. And we share the scouting load, and as I told them last night, I felt like we were more prepared than every team we played this year in the postseason. And a huge credit to that. A lot of that goes to those 3, and so I really appreciate everything they do. I always tell our guys, we haven't talked about this much, with everything being a whirlwind, as much as we typically do, but I want to thank our entire community for supporting our guys. As I say all the time, no matter if it's basketball, softball, baseball, football, volleyball, whatever it is, it's expensive for people to support our teams. It's a lot of money to bring your families to multiple games. Our programs keep winning, and we really appreciate it. It gives these guys memories that they'll never forget. The comments I heard from them talking to each other when they walked out that tunnel, the sectional, the gym was full, those are life experiences you can't create. They have to earn those opportunities, and they have to be in a community that's very supportive of their school and their kids, and we all feel very blessed and very fortunate to be a part of that. And we really appreciate your support and giving our young men just unbelievable lifelong memories. I think we have at least 1 player that wants to talk, maybe 2. Possibly. Can't get KJ to do it, but Jake Pence, I will lead off with Jake Pence, and anybody else who wants to talk, they'll have an opportunity to talk. Jake Pence.
First off, I'd like to thank all the families and the fans and all the friends. None of this could have happened without you guys. All the support through the highs and lows, not only this year, but all years in the past. It's been special. I can't thank you guys enough for that. And then I couldn't be more proud of you guys and give them another round of applause. I especially couldn't be more proud of Brandon Trimble. Watching him grow up the last 3 years, it's been special. It's been an honor to play with you. I'll definitely miss it. This postseason run, it's definitely been something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Whether it was watching Michael Sage hold up my fat head every single Coach Pulaski almost kissed me when he hugged me. Come on. And then watching Brandon put on one of the best performances in state history has definitely been something I'll remember for the rest of my life. And everyone says, how we deserve this, and we did, but just because you deserve something doesn't mean anyone's going to give it to you. And we went out there and we took it, and we persevered, and we battled all season, and I just couldn't be more proud of you guys. It's been an honor to play with them, and I can't think of a better way to cap off my career at St. Joe.
But first of all, I want to thank the coaching staff for preparing us so well, and being ready to take on whoever we were going to play. They were prepared whether for Rockfords or Hales or whoever we were going to play. They had scouting reports on everybody. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, and then I want to thank my teammates. This group, absolutely love this group. I don't know, couldn't imagine doing this with anybody else. Probably the greatest group of guys I've ever been around. I am for the first time in my life. I want to thank all the parents. You guys stayed with us through everything, and I know we are not easy to deal with. And for getting everything settled up, everything prepared for us on our back-to-backs we had there January, and everything else throughout the season. All you guys have done for us, something I don't thank my parents enough for. But thank you. I'm excuses. I really don't know what to say. What else? Hold on. Jake Pence doesn't get enough credit. He was the outside. He wasn't. We had a bunch of leaders on this team, but he was the guy. He kept everybody focused in timeouts. He kept everybody focused when we might have been through a little rough patch. But he was the guy. He was the glue guy, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Trim, don't stop scoring that rock, man. No, he's good at that. All right, I'm going to tell a quick story real quick. So I moved here 5 years ago, as some of you may know. And I came up here and I met up with Pence about mid-May. And because he had messaged me and we actually went to the middle school and shoot groups a little bit. And that summer they had some open gyms, and actually Coach Olson, Coach Blasker, coached it at that time. And I walked into that gym, and I was kind of scared, I'll be honest. I didn't know what to expect. We had open gym that night, so we ended up playing right there. We played 5-on-5 for, I don't know, 2 hours maybe. And and then we went back to Jake's house. And they took me in, and it made it so easy for me to come here and be a part of this group and just let me find myself, find my role with these guys. I know there's a couple people over there that were also with us, maybe one up there. But it was so, I can't thank them enough for allowing me to come here and just be me, I guess, with you guys. You guys made it really easy for me to come up here, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else other than SJO. So thank you.
Two last things before I get it back to Mr. Page. On Garrett moving in, the first game I went to when he came over to St. Joe Middle School, there was a play that happened, and his excitement just exploded with excitement. He's high-fiving his guys, and I leaned over to our assistant at the time and I said, "That's what this group needed." It was a good group, really good group, this senior group, but they're very laid back, they're pretty quiet, and they need a little bit more personality, and he definitely provides some personality to the group. And that's a big part of it, without a doubt. I will say this, and this, I won't, going along Garrett's lines, this is and our guys understand this. This is nothing negative towards anybody else. Garrett Griffith is one of the best teammates I've ever had the privilege of coaching. And I bring it up, to our, especially to our not only our high school athletes, but young kids. you don't have these accomplishments without having great teammates. You know, Garrett is we consider him a starter. He was, in my, I mean, of course I'm biased, but he was the top 6 man in the state as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, and he started some games, but it didn't matter what his role was that night. He was always a great teammate. And there is no one on our roster, and again, nothing, no disrespect to any of our other guys, but no one who deserved it more than Garrett Grimsley to knock down 3 huge threes last night in the state title game. Last thing, I know she'll be really mad at me, but I just want to thank my wife and my family. I could never do any of this without them. It's been a basketball experience. We have a basketball family. They are right there with us, and you know, I told, I think it was our assistants, or Coach Ball might have been, asked me, our daughter, 7th grade daughter, their team was fortunate enough to advance to the state tournament volleyball this weekend, and so she was going to be gone a little bit, and she was more upset about having to miss this, not because she wasn't excited. She was so excited for her team, but this is a big part of her life, a big part of our family's life, and I could never do this without them, and it allows me to have an outlet and to create some special memories with these young men, and, not just for myself, but for our entire family. So I really appreciate everything they do for me. Thank you to all of you again, not only for everything throughout the season, but for showing up today for these guys. It's a special memory they'll never forget. They'll never forget. I will now turn it over to Mr. Page. Thank you.
Before we do our final thank yous, and then get out of here so these young men can get some sleep for school tomorrow. Keegan, stand up. T-shirt. Turn around, you're my model, man. Turn around so I can see it. All right, turn back around. All right, these T-shirts will be on sale starting at, this is Brooks, 3 o'clock today, correct? There'll be a link on the school website. Is that correct? Where are you at, Mr. Brooks? Yep, but 3 o'clock is our target. And if it's not right there at 3 o'clock, be patient, but it will be up sometime today so you can get your state championship T-shirts and get those orders filled. A couple thank yous. First off, please join me in a round of applause for the families of these young men. Thank you for all you have done to make this possible. How about for our cheer and dance who support the students? Best student section in the state, the Maroon Platoon. Coaching staff. Gentlemen, stand up. How about these guys? Cheerleaders, dance. Let's send everybody out in style.